Greetings, family, and welcome to another episode of Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray, family, that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly in a new narrative, in your own story, because we're making movements. We're on the move, family. And a lot of us are already in our vehicles. And your vehicle is your mind. It's the story you've told yourself. It's the story you've told your family. It's the vehicle, family, that will move you from the Babylon reality to our world, to our new earth that is back here with us again. That's the vehicle. The vehicle is your mind. The vehicle is your mental state. The vehicle is your narrative. And you have to fully grasp that if you really want to transform and shift your life and really have fun and full joy yourself and start to leave the hell we've been living in, which is nothing but pain and sorrow. It's time for us to leave that world behind mentally and by maintaining a high vibe. I've been getting several questions from you guys about, what we should be doing spiritually now, especially for those who have left the church or any kind of formal religion or religious psychosis. You are asking me, how do we shape our days? What do we do? What should we do as a daily or weekly or monthly routine? And so I thought I'd share, because it's very important to operate in mindfulness. Your mind is your superpower, family. Your attention is your superpower. Your love is your These are the powers. A lot of times people are looking for, the gift of being a seer. These are burdens. Trust me, seeing the truth about everyone around you it actually becomes a burden. I mean, we're grateful for the gift, but it can be very heavy. And sometimes we don't realize that the initial gifts are like the gift of clarity. The capacity to love, the capacity to formulate ideas and put things together, the capacity to intuitively bring into information from the spiritual realm into your physical existence so it shifts your reality. And if you've found that you've left the religious psychosis, for many, I feel like I've done this show before, like maybe 2-3 years ago, but it never hurts to repeat some of these things. Of course, family, it's the mindfulness is so important. It's all about the mental. And so the first thing I would say is have an attitude of gratitude. Like really maintain an attitude of gratitude at all times. You have so much to be grateful for. You have so much to be celebrating the fact that you made it intact, that you suffered a death to who you were, a death to your ego, and you were able to resurrect yourself and be born again as the new you. The fact that you're aware of what's going on, all these, family, are incredible things. And just find things that you can be grateful for, because they say that the more you have the more you're grateful for what you have, the more the universe will give you more things to be grateful for. Because remember, we are in a magnetic reality. You attract who you are. And so if you make an attitude of gratitude, your daily experience, your daily experience, then you will definitely, Errol, stop it. Just sit there, sit. Then you will definitely, family, be able to move into, you'll be able to flow. You'll move into the flow. Sorry, Errol, seriously, family, he's always just sitting in the kitchen, not disturbing anyone. But the minute the camera comes on, I don't know if there's a spirit that comes over me or something. All of a sudden, he's all playful. But anyways, family, what I was saying is that gratitude is what gets you into the flow of creation. And you just want to be in the flow, because once you're in the flow, that's when now you move off this physical time and you move into spiritual time, where your guardian angels, your spiritual team is aligning people, places, destinies, opportunities in your flow. And gratitude is one of the best ways to get in flow or to get back into the flow. Just to remind yourself, I think the most important thing to do daily, family, is make it a habit to call back your energy. And make it a habit to return energy to sender, especially if you are part of the spiritual warriors who are here to fight and wage war, not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places, then that spiritual wickedness never rests, family. They are constantly doing spells, doing juju, doing voodoo. We just don't feel it as much because we've moved into a new atmosphere, but they remain the way they've always been. And just, and it can't affect you when you're in the flow. It can't affect you when you're in a high vibe, but make it a habit. Because sometimes these arrows of darkness will come into your atmosphere and they'll linger, waiting for you to dip in your vibration so they can now find a way to anchor in. Because otherwise they'll come and they can't find you because you're up here and they've been shot down here. So just get used to, I call back my energy from every encounter, every person, every relationship, every dimension, every space, every time, or something towards that words. Definitely, meditate on that. And then return all negative energy, all negative intentions towards me, all hexes, hoodoo, spell work, voodoo, jealousy, envy, evil eye, back to sender. And I like to send it with a little oomph. So I'll, back to sender 10 times so that they can be busy dealing with the energy they sent to me. And that's how we really fight our wars. So then you're not using your energy to actually attack these people. You're just sending, you're putting it in place like boomerang magic, boomerang energy, where it just goes back to them. So constantly it's doing this, and you don't have to constantly be doing this because you've already set that energetic, energetic force field around yourself with your thoughts, because it is a mental reality. So one thing I would also say is it's so important, family, to cleanse your home regularly, either with incense. Another way is rainwater or ocean water, or just water that you have spoken into. Remember, water is life, it is living, and it is connected to all water. So you can really activate the water to clear out and to cleanse your spirit. Remember, family, if you're staying in Airbnbs, if you're going, if you're relocating and you're moving to a new home, don't get lazy with cleansing that space. Just as you'll clean every room and clean every corner and every shelf and everything, make sure you're also spiritually clearing and cleaning, because, as they say, the walls have ears. Because everything is energy, and sometimes the energy of those who have lived there, most of the time it's their lower vibing experiences, have a way to stick to the walls of those environments. So always just make it a habit. You can also clear it with sound. I have a massive gong. Ooh, I wish I had it here. I'd have shown you guys, which I just sometimes go through every room and just shatter the atmosphere with that sound. So there's many different ways, but just learn what works for you. Even if you can make it a weekly routine where all your family is involved, that would be absolutely amazing. Of course, eat mindfully, family. Be very, very aware of what you're eating. Sometimes you may not have the luxury to stick to your so-called diet or whatever, but remember, you have the power of the voice to neutralize the poison in that food. That's why they took prayer from us, where they'd say, pray over your food, bless your food. It's like, because then you energetically clear it. And as a chosen one, as a highly powerful being, you can also energize that food to be the most optimal for yourself. So just be very aware of what you're eating. And what I'm finding, and it's funny because a few friends have been telling me this, is that I'm eating less and less. I just did a video on time, family. Definitely check it out, where I was like, we need to get off the time, because time is one of the things that they've used to enslave us and imprison us. So I'm no longer on this time of, I have to have breakfast at this in the morning and then this. I eat when I'm hungry. Sometimes I'm not hungry all day and I'll eat in the evening. Sometimes I'll be hungry all day and I'll be eating every 2-3 hours. I'll be grabbing a fruit or whatever. But I'm just listening to the body, because there's so much that we're doing in terms of, when we're in the flow. Because when we're in the flow, we can be used by the Great Spirit and Mama Earth to clear energies, to clear certain things, to shift certain things in our favor. Also, exercise in nature, family. Exercise, get out in nature, make it a regular thing to either walk in nature, sit under a tree. Remember, I said find your mother tree. If you're lucky enough to have a garden, if you're lucky enough to have a farm or nature, Find you a tree that you connect with and make that tree, because all these trees around me are living, family. That's why tree hugging is a thing, especially for high-level magicians. I think one of the biggest lessons I learned was how healing works, and how when you know, the great healers of back in the day always lived in the forest and in nature, because nature, so they would, it's like when you, should I go into this? Okay, for those who need to hear this. So it's like when, let's say there was a child who was brought to you as a healer, and they were extremely sick, and they were brought at a position where you couldn't even make the necessary herbal remedies or potions to help them. Sometimes you would just hold that child and absorb that sickness, because a child can recover very quickly, but a child can also go down very quickly. And you would go, and a lot of these high-level medicine women would go into a forest and they would hug a tree that she had probably been giving her menstrual blood to, and had been doing all kinds of fruits and other rituals to that tree. And that tree would absorb that illness. And then the next day or 2 days later, she'd come and she'd notice that a branch had fallen off, or a certain part of the tree had kind of rotted, because that energy had been passed on. This is probably too much for some, but for those who are ready, I really hope that story inspires you. So family. Also, another thing is meditation. And meditation is one of the things I've really been struggling with. I'm good with seeing, I'm good with visualization and all that, but meditation is so important, that silence. Because that's where the real power, that's where the real power and magic happens, family. When you're able to just silence everything and become one with the oneness. Let me know any other comments, family. I know there's so many people. Oh, I love our soul family. It's so beautiful. What do you do to what are some of your spiritual practices that you do to kind of keep yourself up? I think one of the deepest spiritual practices for me is scripting. And I think it's very important to either do scripting or visualization, or enter some kind of practice where you're actively mentally creating your reality, or actively mentally visualizing what you want to come to you. It may not come in exactly how you're visualizing it, but when you do that, you magnetize that thing to you more. I look forward to seeing you in the comments, family. Special shout out to our Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us on that platform. Thanks to every single person that sends us love donations through PayPal, and everyone who has bought our single on Gumroad. We have a special gift in the mail for you. Until next time, tuko pamoja.